Don't worry, I'm here, guys. I'm here. I know, Keto. What? I told you guys I might be on. I might be here. I might be hanging out in a backdrop of a mountainous region. Just for a few minutes before our actual video comes up today. I got a little bit of time before I have to run and do some shopping, so I figured why not pop in and just hang out. Although I should have my coffee. So I'll be right back. I'm getting my coffee. Busy days ahead. Busy days ahead. Pardon me. What did we get? What did we miss out on? Let's see here. Jacob, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Astrid, how you doing? Great to have you guys here. First is the background. Is it? I don't know. I'm just chilling out. I figured it was a nice little kind of calming background. Dan, how you doing, buddy? Invasion of insects. Insects. And of course, David Lewis. What's up, buddy? Longtime supporter, man. How are you guys doing today? I know, definitely not like a normal live stream day. It's pretty early in the morning for me. I was up late last night. I got the video done. I mean, we have a video coming up, I guess, an hour and 7 minutes from now. And I have to do some running around, but I said, you know what? I said to my Mrs. Mox, I said, I think I have a few minutes. Just want to go out, check it, and see how things go. And this product, by the way, as I'm going to talk about in today's video, it's pretty bad, guys. Well, I thank you, Vincent. I'm a pretty happy guy overall, as annoying as that seems to some people. Oh, the Team Buzzer's like, I'm not late today, man. I made it on time. Yes, you did. You're not late. Because you know what? We deserve to be able to chill out, talk about some Magic the Gathering, and realize, as fantastic as this game is, hey, Keith, good morning, buddy. How you doing, man? I'm talking about LGSs today. You're going to want to watch today's video. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. Watch today's video. Because the information coming in from the LGSs is not good. And Sebastian. Hey, Sebastian. Yeah, when we take a look at everything going on out there right now, and as excited as I am, Jacob, you don't know if you're ready. You don't know if you're ready for that 20K party because you don't know. Some people are going to be really ready. Hey, DJ Long here in the house, man. Swing by, see? DJ's like, swinging by before I crash. See, me and DJ have completely different work schedule. When they changed my work schedule around, now this is vacation mode Mox, man. I got the coffee in hand. I'm just chilling out. I don't care what happens. But my work schedule, I've even been working this week. I couldn't help it. Some things had to get done, but it's fine. Having it on, hey, subscription JC, that's okay, man. If you're watching my content every day, I will forgive. What do I care? Of course I forgive you for missing a live stream. And of course, after the live streams go down, like after I take them down, they can only be seen by people on my Patreon or YouTube membership members. So yeah, there are some... Hey, old man Kevlar, what's up, buddy? Always look forward to your videos. Oh, man, and there are, Henry. Guys, there are some great prices dropping on so many cards. The suspend video I did yesterday talking about the suspend mechanic, it only has like 3,000 views. I knew it wouldn't get as many as these hateful videos to our Wizards of the Coast, but that's what people are missing out on. About 90 days from now, when the Doctor Who decks drop, if Wizards has done what I think they're going to do, so if my analytical side is correct, there are going to be cards there that will link up to other cards they've either already printed or already have values for, which means they're sitting there going, gay as will. It's like a $1 card. I need it to be a $10 card. If we make a lot of cards that will link with that card, it now goes to $10. It gives us reprint equity. It may not be that particular card, but it looks like that's the way that Wizards of the Coast is leaning toward the products they're putting out. I can't always articulate this stuff in a video properly because of my ADHD. I get kind of off track all the time, and I doing too many edits and cuts can mess me up. But sometimes, just speaking to you guys directly and saying, something's going to go wrong and people don't realize it, That's why you got to watch videos like that, because some of those values, like the Sliver Hive, I knew something was wrong. I'm going, well, they're doing sliver decks, but how do they benefit from those sliver decks? It's not just the name, it's not just the deck. It's what are the ancillary product margins they can make money on next time. Either they can bring slivers to the forefront and create new sliver decks, new slivers that can be added value, and then they can take those slivers forward. Now they got to find unique ways of adding slivers in. They need slivers that are not big 5/5 honking slivers, but maybe 3 casting cost slivers that have mediocre $10 value. Pardon me, guys. I'm having milk this morning, and it's kind of messing up the throat a bit. Hey, good morning, Michael. How you doing, buddy? Midnight Oil Work here for the channel. They put a video for Wilds. Oh, see, the Wilds of Eldraine. It's going to be good. It's going to be a solid set. Guaranteed solid set. I'm already looking forward to it, but most people forgot. I don't know about you guys in the States or where you are in the world, guys. You have to let me know. But some of these prices have already creeped up above the norm. So Eldraine, even at the cheapest store here that I have access to, it's about $10 more than Phyrexia. Okay, so $10 more. That's only a 5% jump, but it's still 5%. I adopted a dog named Mox a few days ago. Well, that's because I'm being shipped out to you, apparently. Did you get my tracking chip? They put it in my neck. Right? Oh, the white crater hoof. I know, exactly. The stuff they're doing, it looks like they have longer term plans with Wizards of the Coast when they do products like this. So when they go ahead and they say, we're going to bring out Suspend Mechanic, it's coming back with Doctor Who, and you look at the timey-wimey deck, you look at the Masters of Evil, that Exterminate card, very powerful. Especially in my Throw Bowl deck, where I can multiply tokens and stuff. But when you look at that, you're like, oh, no, that's not the card to look at. That's not the card you should be jumping on. It's the idea of what cards could link down the road. Timey-wimey, with its time-walking ability and suspend counters, could make the Lotus Bloom more valuable. It could make Mox Tantalite link in with something. There are a lot of coulds that could happen. Now, maybe nothing happens. Maybe nothing gets linked properly and Wizards did a bad job. But that isn't what I'm leaning toward after watching how they did it with the Sliver Hive. And we've seen it a couple of times. You're like, well, why wasn't that card included? It wasn't very expensive. It's like a $5 card. And it went from $5 to $50 because everyone tried to jump in on it. And now the reprint equity is there. So think about, if you're a player who's being kind of savvy about this, why are we not looking at vampires, at elves? Why are we looking at Voldarian Estate? Castle Dracula. Remember when they came out for the set? It taps for any color, but you lose a life. So it's kind of like a mana confluence, but it also, like Sliver Hive, you could pay 5, not create a sliver, but you can create a blood token. So when you look at that ability to generate something and how that mana is built and how that land was created, that land's like $1. Is it going to shoot up in value? No. But if they don't reprint it, if they don't reprint this card, Valodian Estate could go to $3-4. If they don't print it again a year or two later with a real emphasis on vampires, now it's $7, $8, $9. They can build their equity up. Jacob Schuler says, this game is over, bro. Sorry about my throat, guys. I shouldn't be having milk in my coffee, but I wanted it. I'm on vacation. Oh, definitely. Hey, DJ, we have access to cards we haven't had for a while. I got to admit, it's pretty awesome. What did I miss here? Hey, Dual Brains here too, man. Oh, the Morning Mox, man. Why are we looking at ATOGs? Why not? I mean, we had Brothers War. We had some good artifacts, but right now I just want to focus on the fact that Wizards is thinking far further ahead than I think we give them credit for. And when they're talking about how much it takes them to research and develop cards, I think it's not just research and develop cards. Like I said in the video yesterday, I think it is linking us and linking Wizards to future income streams based on cards they don't reprint, knowing that they'll go up in value because they're following the secondary market far more than I think we realized. It's kind of scary when I think of it that way, a little bit freaky, but at the same time, I think that's where they're headed, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for those of us who pay attention. Hey, good morning, David. It is more than that. And Yoko's here too. I'm sorry I missed some of you guys here, man. I'm sorry, I'm looking up and looking down. When we're looking at, yes, it's the midweek, Derek, the midweek. Okay, well, the reprints are definitely going to bring down values. Don't worry. We're going to get some savings on there. But Wizards is going to make the money elsewhere. It's not just the boxes. It's which cards they choose to reprint and when. So if you focus on some of the videos and you look at some of the stuff, you're like, hey, I can buy those cards right now for $0.25. What's the worst case scenario? I spend $5 buying 20 copies of cards that might not need, but might be good. Or do I wait and see if these cards spike and then I'm spent $70, $80, $90 trying to get the cards I need? Jacob Schuler, by the way, thanks a lot for donating to the channel. It basically just paid, well, actually, no. This coffee was from the pot machine, which is like 20 cents. You paid for like 5 pots of coffee, buddy. I appreciate it. So no secret layer is already full of CM Bowmasters. Oh, okay. Millmaster. The secret layers are a direct way where they can gain some higher value targets and get people sucked in. So Orcish Bowmaster appearing as a secret layer is a definite concept I could get behind. That card, in case you guys missed my last week, I was doing a video, I think it was on Saturday. I opened 2 packs that the store picked for me. I didn't record them. I didn't put it on my phone. I was like, I just want to crack some packs. Both packs had an Orcish Bowmaster in them, a rare and a rare. I gave them in right away. I got like $80 in store credit. So not only did it pay for my $12 packs, so $24 for the packs, but I get another $60 whatever dollars in credit now to use for future things, which of course will be reserve list cards. They are going to print that stuff. It is going to appear. Orcish Bowmaster, like Millmaster said, that's a valuable card. Why do you think it has such a generic name? It doesn't say Legendary Orcish Tyron the Runner. No. Or the Bowstring Heartstring Dragon Slayer. No. Orcish Bowmaster. So they can reprint that card. It's a generic. They don't, Lord of the Rings doesn't own the rights to Orcish Bowmaster. And because of how they generically did that card's going to appear. Just like a Ragavan. It's going to be around. I think as much about generating value from Magic, I think I just will be easier to get, okay, subscription. Lorcana is trying to capitalize on what TCGs have already done. Okay, hold on. This is like a whole different discussion now. When you look, I've been around the block since '93, when these games first came out. When you look at all the games that failed versus all the ones that stood the test of time, guess how many stood the test of time? Guess how many failed? Everything. That is the history. That is the history of what happens. Magic is the only one that stood the test of time. Everything from the Illuminati to Rage to Overpower, Illuminati, Lord of the Rings, even Dragonlance. All those card games failed. All of them. They may have gone on and gone on for 4 or 5 years before they died out. And you guys can be as mad as you want with Wizards. You can move on to something. I don't care. Go have a good time. Don't think those cards are investable or collectible. If you want to go play a new card game, go play a new card game. Buy it. Hold on to it. Do not think they're going up in value because they're not. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Time and again it is shown that they don't. Maybe sealed boxes for some collector 20 years from now who says, oh man, I remember that game. I wanted to play it like when I was in my 20s. I never got a chance. And now in my 40s I can buy a box for $500. That could happen. Because that happens with some of these older sets like Jihad and stuff like that. But even then, it is a very niche market and very small. These things look big on paper. Even Flesh and Blood. Everyone's like, oh, everyone's playing Flesh and Blood. No, they're not. None of my stores in Contact have any tournaments going. Nobody plays. People do buy a little bit to take home. Same with MetaZoo. Nobody's playing. It may be played somewhere. But don't get your hopes up on stuff like that. Don't do it. And don't sell your Magic cards. You're going to come back to it. At some point, you'll get the itch to go back. At least you'll have your collection. Scary stuff when people say, oh, I'm just going to get into Lorcana early and that's going to... No, it's not. Don't think that way. It's great if it does, if you want to play for fun. Disney doesn't... No, exactly. That's the whole thing, subscription. They don't need the game to work. They need to pump out money from you by putting out a card game that people have an interest in because it's Disney. You'll have the Disney collectors who just buy everything Disney for some reason. You'll have the people out there saying, oh, I can't wait to try a new card game with Disney characters. Like, come on. Mickey as a wizard taking somebody out is kind of cool. Adding Marvel characters in like the Juggernaut versus Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, kind of funny. But the idea would have value. If you want to play a game, I'm all behind it. If you think it's going to have a future value, something you can trade into, like it's a first edition Flesh and Blood, don't buy into the hype. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I feel like Lorcana will run cards to make it with the appropriate ran out stuff. Hold on, I gotta read this again. Not enough coffee in my system. I feel like Lorcana will run out of cards to make. Oh, well, okay, that's true. I mean, but they have all of Marvel Universe, don't forget. They've got thousands of Marvel characters that they can use if they need to, right? And every time Disney makes a new movie, it gives them a new series of characters they can use. They will, but I don't think that's their game plan. I think their game plan is, this is a way that we can put something on paper that makes us a short-term profit, which will look good to the shareholders. We can run this to the ground for about 5 years before people catch on. And yes, if it goes further than that, it's great. If it goes less than that, it doesn't matter. It costs us a few bucks on paper. For the Middle-earth card game, only fell because, look, again, Perrin, exactly, right? Depending on when licenses transcribe back. It's the same as when Transformers had the rights to the SDF-1 Harmony Gold, Macross. And they had Jetfire, the original Jetfire, look like the Veritech fighter. Like, it blew our minds as kids. This is a Robotech toy. And there's a whole story about how they couldn't figure out how to make the Veritech transform in Harmony Gold, so they sent it to the guys at Takahara, which was like Transformers. They loaned the license. They figured out how to make that thing transform on paper. They created a 3D model of it. They made it transform, and that's how we got Jetfire. 3 years later, they lost the license, and now they can't make Jetfire look like that anymore, which is a shame. Subs! JC got it. Lorcana is less about the game, more about Disney. I genuinely believe that MetaZoo is just in a finance... I think people have just got their claws into it, and they hype it up. And there's nothing wrong with capitalism as long as you know where it's going. I just don't want people to be a sucker. I don't want people to be a Timmy. I don't want people to have their money taken from them not getting something in return. As long as you're going with your eyes wide open, you knew it could happen, then there's no problem. It's if you don't know it can happen. It's if you don't know. And you genuinely believe the people who are influencing you to buy these things. Right? When you believe somebody like even Rudy at Alpha Investments, right? I'm sure he's a great guy on paper. I'm sure he's a great person in real life. But he's got to pay for the bills. He's got to support his family. And if he has his claws into this and says, I get a 8% kickback on the actual company, of course he's going to promote it. And he hopes it does well. But if it doesn't, he's still got his 8%. Do people generally not count Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon as company? Aha! Okay. Late Night with Matthew. Okay. Those are games. Pokemon is a collectible, tradable game. It does very well. Okay? It has been around a very long time. And honestly, I forgot about it because I'm an adult and I don't look at kids' games like that. And that's what a lot of people associate with, even though it's not a kids' game. That's how we think of it. My kid played Pokemon for a hot minute before he moved on to Magic the Gathering. And that's how I feel about it. It doesn't mean it is a TCG game. Now, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's had flows that come and go with the years. And it's still a fairly recent game, being less than 30 years old. Okay? Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon came after the fact, right? They came years after Magic, but they are both surviving TCG games. I apologize for my misnomer. You are totally right. If you think any collectibles is investable, you need to check out returns on our securities. Millmaster, exactly. Like, I would rather buy bank stock, right? I would rather buy, and even if that bank stock only pays me a minuscule amount, those little crumbs add up to money later. Hasbro owns the IP. Oh. I don't. You know what, brother? They have printed Magic toys before. I remember seeing them. So I'm not sure how that works out. Vincent, if they planned it well, yes. Any game can get off the ground if they do it properly. But they're not doing it properly. And that's the problem. They have the idea like Flesh and Blood where you come out and you give a first edition, right? Like Magic did. You got Alpha, Beta, Unlimited. They're following the blueprint of how Magic got successful. Where most of these TCGs fail to capitalize, in my opinion, is the grassroots building of time. They want to get rich quick. Whoever owns the company is like, hey, I hope a bigger company buys me out. I hope I make a lot of money really fast. I got to get paid. The patience is no longer there. When Wizards of the Coast had their first massive cash infusion, I'm talking when they realized how big this game was going to be. Do you know what they did with the money? Do you guys have any clue? Anybody out there? They didn't know what to do. They had so much money in their bank account that they went out and they bought TSR, which is Dungeons and Dragons. That's what Wizards of the Coast did. They said, we can't just sit here on this money. We have to do something with it. Nowadays, these companies don't get that same cash infusion. It's not just a takeoff and you're running with it. They got to build their bank accounts, and they don't want to wait. They don't want to have the patience to wait and build up. They've got to get tournaments going all the time. You've got to get these things out to every single store, and you've got to give them handsome profit margins. You want to entice your LGS to promote tournaments. So you should be telling them, hey man, we're going to give you 80% off. If Flesh and Blood's $100 a box that we sell at retail, we're going to give it to you for 25 because you want to promote it. You want to just skim by on the margins. You're like, hey, we make a box costs our company $8. With productions and shippings, it's now up to 15. We're going to sell it to the stores for 25. We walk away with only like $6. We're not going to take a profit really. We're not going to make any money. Our R&D is going to be really slim, but we're promoting the game. We're getting the game out there. That's what they need to do. That's what companies are not willing to do. They don't have a 25-year plan. They have a 5-year plan to get rich and get out. And I hate that idea. Yeah, Schmitty, what's up, buddy? I had $450 MetaZoo sale from someone who messaged me saying it was attending a big tournament called the Fire Tower. I believe there are players buying. There could be. Yoko, there really could be. I'm just saying not in my area. So if you're not touching enough areas, it won't take off. And if it doesn't take off, it withers on the vine in certain areas and never gets ground, right? If it never gets ground, it becomes centralized to certain areas. When it's centralized to a certain area, eventually players move on, get bored, do something else because it's not expanding enough, and then it dies. Judge! Why doesn't Hexproof on a player, Surge of Salvation, protect against Sheoldred's Edict? Because it's not targeting you. Isn't it say you have to sacrifice a creature, right? Isn't that how it works? I'm not a judge. Yes, Exam, they did. I'm up at my cottage. I'm at my other property. The wife and kid are upstairs. Breakfast is being made. I have a video coming out 45 minutes, and I had a little time today. Everyone who's watching right now, so I figured we'd come on and do a live stream. I wanted to do some this week, but it's funny when you get vacation time, you think it's time to just relax, but we have another property. It's time to do chores. So I have a lot of things I have to fix up. I didn't own a pressure washer, so I had to buy a pressure washer to clean all the eaves troughs, get all the gunk out of all the gutters, make sure the property doesn't fall apart on me. So I've been doing a lot of work. Almost all Fab and MetaZoo sales that I get, I can tell are play sets for decks, for players, not investors. Well, Yoko, I hope that's awesome, man. I hope that builds well for you. I want success and good things for you, man. I want this to take off. I want there to be other card games because more competition against Wizards means they bring their prices in check. See? I like your comment on that, man. No, that's a good comment. It's true. Moxman, as you mentioned in the previous video, Wizards will undoubtedly reprint more reserved proxies through the Secret Lair products. Do you think that will significantly affect reserve card temporarily? They are not the real cards. They'll have different backings. I don't think Wizards wants to mess with the reserve list. They want access to the equity the reserve list gives them. So they want to print the proxy versions of it because then they can make some cash and capitalize on that little hidden market that they want to get into. Do they wish they could just crash through the front door and reprint reserve list? Yes. Yes, they do. So I expect a slight negative return on reserve list cards, which causes a decrease in prices, right? It's going to go down. But that's over a very short period of time. The long-term health of the reserve list is really dependent on Wizard of the Coast not reprinting the cards, not coming back into the market. And all the sales I see, it's been up and down all over the place. We've had weeks where the sales on the top 10 are massive, other weeks where it's almost dead. So I don't know how to describe this other than people are unsure. They're not sure where to park their money in this stuff, or even if they want to do it. And that's fine, because the cheaper the prices go, the better it is for me to do it, to buy the cards I want to buy. So I don't care either way if they reprint it or don't reprint. I used to really be bothered by it, but now I realize I want more people to play the old cards. I want more people to have the excitement and thrill I had. I just don't want them reprinting the original art, which will affect my value because I have the original cards. So if they stay away from that, I'm fine. What do you really think of Fab? Cool concept. Okay, I have played Flesh and Blood. I have, there was a guy, Andrew. He's one of my long-term patron supporters. He sent me original boxes, Wrath. I had to send all kinds of cards back with him. I have old videos where I did original box openings. He sent me a few of the original packs. I have played and enjoyed the game. The game is fine. You get the hero and armor them up and stuff. It's fine. But I play it as a game, like Monopoly. It's a card game. That's all it is to me. It is not something like, oh, I'm going to spend $50 on this one card. That's not going to happen. That's Magic. I'm too old. At my age, I am way too old to be delving off into new investment opportunities. You got to solidify your base. You got to get your stuff together and make sure you and your family are cool and you have a steady income coming in, maybe a second or third job, and then you can branch out into other things for fun. I'm too old to do that now, so I stick with Magic, the cards I really want to get my hands on and play and enjoy and go to tournaments and go to pre-releases. There's only so many hours in a day. So I can enjoy those as card games around the table, but not something I'm going to invest time or money into. I feel bad for people who are buying at these high prices. I do too, especially if we're talking about the Commander Master stuff. I feel really bad. People should not be buying them. They'll one-up reserve list cards. Yes. Okay, they will know, but old school tournaments of reserve list don't allow you, like a Flying Man is actually a good card when you're playing old school, right? Because a Flying Man's a 1/1 flyer for blue, and you can't use new cards from new sets, so you got to use old cards. That it's a defined period of time for Magic. I have friends who play only by blocks, so you can have, if you're playing with Dungeons & Dragons card, all your sets have to be from D&D or Baldur's Gate or those Commander deck series. That's all you can use, right? And if you're playing Innistrad block, it's anything from the Innistrad series. We have like deck blocks we break out. Oh, never avoid the reserve list. Are you talking? We've got Soldevi excavations on that reserve list. I'm not avoiding that anywhere. I'm buying more. Not looking to perpetuate the universe's beyond effect. Goes, how would you feel if they... Oh my god. Isn't Twisted Metal like a TV show now? I remember playing that video game with the clown car, like the ice cream truck. I remember racing around with that game back in the day. I don't care. I don't care if they do it. It really bothered me at first. But stuff like fantasy stuff seems to hit home. So if you do, I'm not saying they should do G.I. Joe. Transformers should have been like a Commander deck series. I think they could have done a lot better job. But when I looked at how they did Lord of the Rings, it kind of turned me around a bit. Not My Little Pony stuff, but it really did turn my mind a bit. And now with the Doctor Who stuff, and I'm not as offended as I was 2 years ago. Does that make sense? I'm looking at it, it's a card game. If they didn't put Doctor Who's face on it and they chose some different name over top of it, which eventually will happen when they lose their license IPs, if these cards are good, they will reskin them as something else. I don't mind that. That's okay. That's just somebody doing almost like alternate art on a card to make it look cool so you really enjoy the alternate art. So I don't care if they do a Twisted Metal. I don't care if they give me G.I. Joe. Just make sure Snake Eyes is there, as well as the BATSs, the Battle Android Troopers. Come on, you got to give me those. That'd be awesome. Oh, I tried to send Commander Masters, but it's gone back to the warehouse. Really? Wait. So Keith, did you try to send it back? Like, I'm not going to accept, because I know what happens if you don't accept. If you don't accept the product after you've ordered it, you're going to the bottom of the barrel, man. I know. The stores tell me. There you go. Sorry, just reading some of these comments, guys. Some of them fly by. We have a lot of people here today. I didn't expect this many people this morning. Horror classics. Okay, they messed that up with the... If they had done the old school art on double feature, man, that would have been such a good set. Like, I got a box of double features sitting there. I'm not doing anything with it, just sitting there. What? Remember we opened packs here on the channel, and all the packs were messed up? Everything was like, oh, this person got 4 rares, this person got none. Like, it was brutal. Now, I haven't had a lot of people who have interest in opening sealed product, but we did that one, and it was like 4 packs a person. If they had stuck that to old art, if they had done like old school Dracula, like, remember like the black and white type thing from the old poster things? If they had done them all like that, not just the Secret Lair, but done all the characters like that, from the Wolfman to Swamp Thing, like they could have done so many cool things, man. Okay, Dev, guys, everyone should know what I would want as my #1 Secret Lair. You haven't been on the channel long enough if you don't know what my #1 Secret Lair creation would be. And that is Army of Darkness. And I know a lot of you guys are like, it's Army of Darkness! You could do Ash, Evil Ash. You could do some of the Knights. You could do some of the Deadites. You could do the Book of the Dead. It is Army of Darkness. If you gave me a secret lair, I mean, they could do a whole commander deck series. They could do a whole commander deck thing of that. They could do crazy stuff, man. See? Groovy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Those cheesy one-liners, ever since I saw that movie, I've watched it continually. Every Halloween, in the month of October, I watch Army of Darkness like 15, 20 times. Every other day. Sometimes twice a day, depending on how I feel. Love that movie. See, Nando's like, this is, oh my God. I was sorry, it'd be so awesome, man. That kind of stuff would really get me going. Like, I would be super excited if they did some secret layers like that. But they could expand on this stuff. Now, jumping back to what they could do, understand like the Lost Caverns of Ixalan's coming, right? So I did videos early on, saying looks like it's going to be kind of like a journey to the center of the earth type thing. When you start thinking about the dinosaurs, think about the dinosaurs from a couple of years ago. Some of those will link forward. When we think about Eldraine, you think about Brazen Borrower, some of those cards, like, oh, those cards are amazing. But this set was known for being overpowered. So they may try to overpower this set again to get people interested. Also, to build some reprint equity in future sets. They can, they will. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it that way. Now, going forward, we look at Lost Caverns, go past that, and we have a whole new year of products coming up before we know it. Understanding how Wizards will do things and giving you the edge, I think, is more important nowadays, because you can get some of those cards super cheap, be prepared for them, and if they don't really pan out, it's not a huge loss because you're paying 25 cents a card. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. You ain't leading Jack and something else right now, and Jack left town. Oh, you too. I would use Drudge skeletons. I would use all kinds, man. They have all kinds of skeletons you could use. Yes, the White Crater Hoof seems very good. I agree. I don't think so. The Evil Dead's kind of, I mean, the new Evil Dead stuff's pretty freaky, right? But the old stuff from the 80s, the original Sam Raimi stuff, guys, it's pretty light. It's pretty light. I mean, Evil Dead 2 was kind of creepy with him sitting on the rocking chair and stuff and like all the things come alive. That one's kind of creepy, but the Army of Darkness is pure hokiness. It's awesome. See? He's like, I loved it. It's because it's Army of Darkness. The Necronomicon. And then if they gave you an actual magic item, I mean, how much would it even cost to license Army of Darkness? It wouldn't cost a lot. They've done all kinds of different IP things with that over the years. No way the original Evil Dead was dark. No. Only Evil Dead 2 when they did the remake, just a couple of scenes are a little bit dark. Oh, for me, it's one of those big ones, right? When I look at the value of some movies really hit home. Some are a single watch. Like that movie Battleship, it didn't do well in the theaters, right? But I watched it once or twice and I go, you know what? It's a good mindless movie to watch. Some are just mindless movies. Other movies, do you remember that movie, The Last Starfighter? Movies like that, the early 80s, it's like they need to remake that movie. Because they could do so much more with that script being rewritten a little bit, better CGI and graphics. Like, give me a movie like that and bring it forward again as a rerun. I would totally watch The Last Starfighter as a remake, moving up the ladder with better graphics. Some years like, whereas when they redid the last Mortal Kombat movie, it was horrible. They've never been able to give us the original again. Crazy, man. Oh yeah, guys, we fixed it. Millmaster's like, Oko's fixed, man. Oko's fine. Yes, you should expect to see Oko, but what is it? Is it Eldraine we're going to see Ashiok? Ashiok's back there, right? And Ashiok's not desparked. So if Ashiok's back, it'd be interesting to see how this thing's become like a twisted nightmare world, because it could give us a hint at either some very big beasties, right? Some very big, cool, nightmarish, demonish creatures, right? But at the same time, this is what we talked about earlier. I think like 4 months ago I did the video. Expect some weird things. We don't really have we don't have a fairy tribal really. But they keep going back to Eldraine every couple of years. You get more fairies, right? Different dark fairies, light fairies that do different things. Fairy formation was like a 4/5 big flying fairy that made more fairies that drew cards. You can expect to see more of that as they build toward tribal decks. So when they give you the insert card, this land can tap to provide 1 mana of any color to cast a fairy. When you see that land, that's the land you buy. Even if there's not enough fairies yet, that's the land you buy. And that's what I'm talking about when you see things like Didgeridoo on the reserve list that create Minotaurs, right? They can never recreate that, but they can give you lands that maybe add things to Minotaurs, so you start building these pieces, not for now, but for 5-10 years from now. You buy the Didgeridoo for $5 and you sit on it. You see a land that taps to provide fairies, extra power, but there's not enough fairies right now, you know where they're headed by looking at that. Ashiok's going to be awesome in that world, man. Just got out of a job interview, and MTG MOX is here to listen to the ride home. I play a format called Dorm Days, which alpha through Urza's Legacy with a ban restricted. Oh man, has a ban restricted list. We have house rules. We generally have house rules. Like if I'm playing against somebody who annoys me, I'm using my Time Vault Voltaic Key. If it's against my friends in my playgroup, we don't use those cards. They're considered, dead. You play them, but you can't use them because you're not trying to win the game that way. Chaos Orb destroys a single target, not multiple targets. We have good times too. I like formats like that. We have house rules. As commander set based on all Bruce Campbell movies combined. That'd be so great. Bubba Hotep, man. Bubba Hotep. Do you know what Beetle financed Ice Pirates? Really? Ice Pirates was a great movie. The concept that water is so difficult to find. Remember the chomper that's gonna take off their private parts? I love that movie. That was a really well done movie. I wonder if it depends, right? Because those guys weren't all there. So it makes you wonder which planeswalkers got desparked. And does this lead up to a future storyline where somebody like Ugin and Nicobolas escape? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder what will happen. If the sparks are gone, where did they go? Who inhabits them? I don't think they get destroyed. I think they just are like dormant, right? Shop smart, shop S, right? That's right, Seth. That's right. Oh, Mario Nintendo. I think I have one of those systems here. Oh my god, Waterworld, right? Actually, I'm watching that new TV series Foundation, and they have this world Syntax, which is like a water world, and it kind of reminds me of the movie Waterworld. And she keeps saying, well, the water's rising, all the land's going to disappear. You're like, this is Waterworld. Foundation's pretty good, though. It took a while to get into. Oh my god, instant spell, Robocop, that's awesome. Hail to the king, baby. That's what I'm talking about. As we go through some of this stuff, and you look at things we'd like to see, this is where Universes Beyond can play a good role. This is where Secret Layers can play a good role, where you get those unique little sets, and it does fit a market of players who want to get their hands on it. Even if they did a Smurf Secret Layer, there'd be some nostalgic people who remember Smurfs. But as they move forward, and we get characters like Dragon Ball Z, we've had the Street Fighter ones, but you start moving to those realms of it, it's going to be fun to see what they come up with. I don't have a problem with people wanting to buy those or enjoy them or reskin cards. It's fine. I'm cool with all of it. I just want people to know that they can be reprinted, revaluated, downgraded, upshifted to Mythic based on their utilitarian purposes for Magic. It's crazy to see what they could possibly do. But as far as they go for like Universes Beyond, they have so many IPs they can tap into for limited periods of time that don't cost them an arm and a leg. Number one, the ones they own already. They have a massive array of toys over their years that they have control of because they bought up old toy companies, right? Smaller toy companies like Tomy Toys and stuff that all got bought out years and years ago. Those toys may be mothballed, but they own the IP, they own the likeness rights. They can bring all this stuff forward. Always be prepared for the unexpected. But I, as much as I like to think about all these new cards come in, I keep bringing everything back I do in my videos mainly to financial stuff because you got to maximize your dollar while minimizing the damage that Wizards can do to you when you're buying these cards. That's why reprint sets really bother me. Things like, I look back at Time Spiral. Everyone loved this set. They love these retro frame art cards and these kind of cool ideas. But the boxes were so expensive. I complained even back in those videos. If you go back and look at my videos about Time Spiral Remastered, I love the box, but I hated the price. I like the idea of a combined reprint set of that block to let players have the experience of doing it, but not at $350 a box. Should be $150. Should be a standard box price. There's no effort being put into it. It's just a reprint of cards. That's what they should go with. Hey, Chips Ahoy, what's up, buddy? Yeah, man, we're just chilling out here. Oh, the Princess Bride would be epic. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. But how would they make them? What would they do with them? Because I look at a guy like Drist when they did Adventures in Forgotten Realm. I didn't mind him being double strike, but I've told you guys he should be triple strike. He strikes one opponent first, then he has his double strike and first strike. He should be able to hit multiple people in the same turn. And they don't do that. They should have given those guys something. These are the most iconic characters from Forgotten Realms, and you made them so generic that nobody wants to play with them. So it kind of was a miss, right? You should have wanted people to want those cards. So when you think of these special IPs like that, they got to bump them up a bit. I understand you may have to have a higher casting cost. You may have to do something to weaken them in some other area, but you got to make them feel like they're awesome, like they were from the books. Terminator Universes Beyond, I would totally buy probably. I'd be tempted. I grew up watching that movie. It was totally, Terminator 2 blew our minds, man. Back in the day. I remember opening the original Time Spiral. Don't even know it was too late. So crazy, right? Oh, Dark Crystal would be good. That's a great fantasy one they could do. Or, I talked about this before in a different live stream, Krull. Do you remember the movie Krull? Where like the dark castle moves along to different worlds and wipes out the planets, and they have these evil guys in like white armor that march along, and the little creatures are inside. It's a movie from like 1983 or something, and it has the glaive. They actually showed it, I think, they did show it in Ready Player One. The ninja guys got the glaive, right? So cool. I mean, considering the time that Krull came out, that movie is epic. People don't recognize how much time and effort went into all that body armor, all that stuff. They didn't do movies like that back then. Liam Neeson's in it. It's crazy. Indiana Jones? No thanks. That's too Earth-like. Like, I think fantasy IPs work far better than the regular IPs. It just shows how old we are, right? When we were talking about movies from like 1981, remember seeing them all? I know. Some of this stuff kind of gets us. Can't help it. Oh, the Labyrinth. Labyrinth would not be bad either. See, again, it's sci-fi, right? When you take certain sci-fi movies over the years, I think some of them will blend very well. I still think they could do Dragonlance and give us all kinds like the Heroes of the Lance, Lord Soth with Death Touch. If they look at some of these iconic, I think Ravenloft, but people would say they would have Innistrad, right? But I say you go with Ravenloft. It is so much darker and creepier. I mean, you make it scary. You make the cards scary. And they can always go with the rule. You know, like Legend rule back in the day was like you only have one. Why can't they say you can only have one of this in your deck? They can make a really powerful creature that's a one of. Lord Soth, unique legendary creature, only one allowed in your play deck. And then you can have this one really unique, powerful card that maybe is a little bit bumped up over other ones, but it's only one in your deck, not four in a modern format. Killer Clowns from Jason 10, Jason in Space. Remember that? Oh, Dark Sun would be great. Now, I want to go back to Rabia. We could do Greyhawk. We could do Spelljammer. Maztica. Maztica was great too back in the day. I have all those old compendium modules, man. There's a lot of... See, this is the other thing that bothers me is they're D&D. They have such a wide, expansive universe of D&D they can go to with all the different planes of existence they built for D&D. Why aren't they using them? I don't know if there's tie-ups with like people like in their actual boardrooms and stuff saying we don't want to do this, but those crossovers could be so well done. Forgotten Realms wasn't nearly explored enough. They should have gone to a certain area, like Waterdeep. They should have gone and done some... Oh! Tug and Nutter's in the house, buddy! Tug's like, I just gifted 5 memberships for you people. Take the memberships and run. I know everyone's like, well, we're not really... Oh yeah, everyone grabbed those very quick. Tug, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel, buddy. Nathan, Common Sense says they will. Dragonlance by Tracy West and Hickman and them. Guys, crazy good stories and books they did. Iconic characters like Raistlin Bajir, Cameron, Tanis. There's just lots of choice. Tasselhoff, come on. But some of the villains were so well written, right? They're just so... You remember them. When you remember iconic stuff that plays well, the nostalgic heartstrings it pulls makes you want to buy it when you see it in form. There was an Army of Darkness, like back in the day, Ral Partha, I guess it'd be 1995. Ral Partha did a series of the metal miniatures, that's how we did our D&D miniatures back then, of Army of Darkness. I still have it in the box somewhere. I didn't even open them. It had the Necronomicon, it had Good Ash and Evil Ash, and he had the chainsaw. It was crazy stuff. I can't tell the dragon. 45. Oh, if we get 45 likes, Tug's going to give you guys more. Everyone hit the like button, man. Let's get some money flowing in the house. Let's make Moxman's vacation that much better so I can pay for my driveway. You know those big things you get? I don't know. I've been talking about this thing. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, Ashford's like, how do you feel of Jason 9 using the Necronomicon lore? I don't! But it was still fun. When you think of my driveway out there, it's a big driveway because it's like at a cottage thing. And I'm paving it. I even make a joke in today's video. I've got like one space left to pave still. I got one area of this thing to pave. I got to buy at least one more container. Those containers like $40 of that sealant. I had to use like 5 already. I'm going, this is crazy. Oh, man. Neverending Story was great, man. With Falcor, come on, man. That made me cry when Atreyu's horse like drowns in the swamp. Guys, I get tingles now just thinking about it. Some movies just grip you. Thank you, Tug, man. Thanks for supporting the channel, bro. Every single person helps. Neverending Story was a great movie, but that stuff really pulls on the heartstrings a bit. Gets you going. Now, when I take this, by the way, when I take this live stream down, anyone who's missed it, I'm going to leave this up for the day before I take it down. I will leave it there so people can watch it. I didn't even put any commercials in this one, nothing. I just left it regular. Was it the evil nothingness? What's that black wolf called again? Remember the wolf that's in the cave that's been hunting Atreyu and them? Hi! Yoko's like, we got a little Maltese named Falcor. I love that stuff, man. Actually, the princess still does stuff on Instagram. I found that princess, like, she kept doing acting and stuff. It's kind of funny. Gamora or something. There you go. I can't remember the name, but creepy, man. Creepy stuff. The way they used to use puppets back then, they look so good. It blew my mind, man. The Nothing. There you go. The Nothing. Thank you, Average Josh, man. Oh, my. Okay. We're starting to get me all excited here. Clash of the Titans. I can't tell you how awesome. I mean, even the redone one. I didn't like the Wrath of the Titans. I'll tell you right now, I didn't like the Wrath. But Clash of the Titans, because they make the gods too weak. I hate when the gods get so weak they become mortal people. You should have kept them as gods. I'm sorry. They have a certain power level. That's just how I feel about it. But in Clash of the Titans, the original one, loved it. Okay? In the 80s, loved it. It blew my mind. The idea. And then when they redid it with Sam Worthington, I loved it as well. I think it was a very great play on things. And Gemma Allerton was just so good looking in that movie. I just like the idea of her, right? I don't really get on with a lot of female actresses. I find that too much makeup and stuff, But she looked... It's the role she was in that made you want to see her, like, do more crazy stuff. So that with all the cool... I mean, oh my God, they pulled out Ubu the Owl in that movie. When they redid it, like, don't worry about it. Great characters. I think they even had Nicholas Hoult as one of the guys who dies trying to fight... what's her name? Trying to fight the Medusa. Great, well done movie. And the Kraken looked amazing. Loved it, man. Loved it. It did at the time. I'm very selective. When people think, oh, she's a really attractive actress, a lot of movies, I don't think the actresses are attractive. Does that make sense? It takes a lot more than that for me to find some kind of attraction to a person. So in that movie, in that particular role, it did. And then when I watched her in Hansel and Gretel, same thing. So I'm like, I like her as an actress then. I just like her. The way she's personifying her roles makes me think I'd like to see her again. So that stuff is good. But not everyone does it. Even there's a couple movies that Charlize Theron was in that I thought were good, but some I thought she wasn't. So it gets dependent. Keep hitting that like button. Can't forget the movie Legend. Oh, that's right, Legend. Wasn't that with Tom Cruise? Was that Legend? Oh, Beowulf. Oh, man. Beowulf was kind of creepy, actually. I remember seeing that in the theater, thinking it was going to be something else, and it wasn't. Tim Curry was great. Remember him in Congo? Has Bruce Campbell in it, so... Yeah, Legend will make it... Because anywhere where they've expanded on the backstory could be a potential magic set, guys. And when they have enough lore and magic and wizards and stuff, it lends to it as well. So any of those would make amazing IPs. I loved... When I saw Clue the movie back then, I loved it. Tug, this live stream is actually going to end in about 3 minutes. I still have a lot of chores to do today that I don't get to avoid, but I wanted to come on and see you guys today. So, and there may be, no, it'll be Sunday. Yeah, because I still have to get other stuff done before I leave. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could go a lot longer, guys. But, you know, time as is what it is. But I'll leave this live stream up. I mean, my video goes live. You guys will get in there 15 minutes. Not even 15 minutes. I don't know how long the video was. How long was the video today? I have the hard copy there. It's like a 13-minute. You get a 13-minute video today about how bad sales are going. It's going to be crazy. And some of that stuff is nutty, man. No, I didn't. Average Josh, I did not. Put that in the Discord, buddy. Put it in the Discord. I want to see that. Oh, do you remember Mask, the TV show? That was a great cartoon, man. Mask. How about Centurions? Let's go with Centurions because they had they have, you know, technology and wizardry. No, not even close. This is just some mountainous background I like, so I keep it. I find this background calming. I find it very calming for me. I like artwork that's very calming. I like that kind of stuff. Just makes me happy. You know what? In a world where so many things make us miserable, when I can find things that make me happy, I really tend to enjoy them. Dan Wilson, absolutely. But that's what they did. Do you remember Air Raiders? Do you guys ever watch? The Air Raiders was like a really short thing, but Air Raiders was like 1986. And these are all ripoffs on previous shows. Absolutely. Yes, Tug, I'm going to leave this up. This live stream will stay up for the entire day. I'm not taking it down today because I'm not normally doing live streams like this during the day. I know you'd commented you'd like to see one, so here I am doing the live stream. I think it's good when people actually want to talk about stuff and do stuff, so that's why I'm going to leave this up all day long so anyone who misses can watch it today. And then I'll take it down and put the code out on the Patreon, and I'll slip it into the YouTube membership thing as well. Oh, no. I Asher, this is in Huntsville, Ontario. I'm up in Huntsville, Ontario right now, so I'm a couple of hours away from my city property. This is just, it has a lot of work you always have to do, so when I get vacation time like this, it's always a time to pop in. So thanks again, everyone, for coming to this unannounced live stream. Thanks for being here with the Coffee Drinking Mox Man. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you slam some likes down. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. We're getting closer and closer to 20,000 subs, so it's kind of epic to be there. And if you can't subscribe because you don't have like a Gmail, create a Gmail account, find my thing, and hit subscribe. All right, guys, have an awesome day. I'll see you guys in the comments of the live stream. I'm going to take this one off now. I'm going to top up the coffee and get my day started. I hope you all have an awesome day today. You deserve it. Thanks to everyone who donated to the channel. Really supportive. Awesome. I'll see you guys soon.